On September 4, 2023, tragedy struck Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia, as 14-year-old Colt Gray allegedly opened fire, killing 4 people and injuring 9 others. The incident became the deadliest school shooting of the year, leaving the community devastated and searching for answers. The victims included 2 14-year-old students, Mason Shimmerhorn and Christian Angulo, as well as 2 teachers, 39-year-old Ricky Aspinwall and 53-year-old Christina Ermey. Mason was described as having the sweetest, most loving soul with the biggest smile, while Christian was remembered as a caring freshman loved by many. Ricky Aspinwall, a math teacher and defensive coordinator for the school's football team, was a married father of 2. Christina Ermey, also a math teacher, had dedicated her life to shaping the minds and hearts of her students. The shooting unfolded rapidly, with school resource officers confronting the young gunman within minutes. Colt Gray surrendered quickly and was taken into custody. He now faces 4 counts of felony murder, with additional charges expected for the 9 people injured in the attack. The aftermath of the shooting saw an outpouring of support from both the local community and across the nation. Fundraisers and GoFundMe campaigns were established to provide financial assistance to the affected families. One such organization, Victims First, set up by survivors of other mass shootings, stepped in to offer support. As the community grappled with the tragedy, most Barrow County students returned to school the following week. However, Appalachia High School students had not yet resumed classes at the time of this report. School Superintendent Dr. Dallas Liu emphasized that students who were not ready to return should reach out to their school's principal for assistance and resources. The district implemented additional security measures, including an increased law enforcement presence, to ensure student safety and address potential concerns. The events leading up to the shooting have come under intense scrutiny, revealing a complex web of family dynamics, missed warning signs, and potential systemic failures. On the morning of the shooting, at approximately 9:50 a.m., Colt Gray's mother, Marcy Gray, called a school counselor reporting an extreme emergency regarding her son. She had received a text message from Colt saying, "I'm sorry, Mom." Marcy Gray later told ABC News that the counselor informed her that one of Colt's teachers had earlier sent an email expressing concern about Colt making references to school shootings. In her conversation with the counselor, Marcy Gray reportedly urged immediate action, saying, "I told them it was an extreme emergency and for them to go immediately and find Colt, check on him. I don't understand what took them so long between my gut feelings, the text messages, and now this email. Y'all need to go, run to the classroom now." However, the exact sequence of events following this call remains unclear. Neither the school district nor the sheriff's office have confirmed the details of the call or the subsequent actions taken. Adding to the confusion, Rebecca Seagraves, the mother of another student, told media outlets that according to her daughter, an assistant principal came to Colt Gray's classroom around 10 a.m. However, Colt and another student with a similar name had both stepped out of the room. The assistant principal, apparently having the wrong name, searched the other child's backpack and was unable to locate Colt Gray in time. This account has been disputed by Barrow County Sheriff Judd Smith, who told the mother that her daughter's information was incorrect. The school district has refrained from commenting on specific details, citing the ongoing investigation by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. The tragedy has raised questions about how the weapon was brought onto school grounds and whether more could have been done to prevent the shooting. It has also shed light on Colt Gray's troubled history and family background. According to school records, the shooting occurred on Colt's first full day at Appalachia High School. His educational journey had been marked by frequent moves and changes in schools. He attended Hall County schools for 3 months from August to November 2019, then moved to West Jackson Middle School from February to August 2022, before finishing 7th grade at Jefferson Middle School. Family members have painted a picture of a difficult home life for Colt. His maternal grandfather, Charles Pamis, made strong statements to the media, placing blame squarely on Colt's father, Colin Gray. Pamis told local station 13 WMAZ, I understand that Colt did it, and he needs to pay the ultimate price. I understand that, and I don't disagree with that. But his dad is as guilty as Colt is. His dad beat up on him. I mean, I'm not talking about physical, but screaming and hollering, and he did the same thing to my daughter. Pamus went further in his comments to the New York Post, describing Colin Gray as evil, and stating that he had driven Colt to commit the shooting. He even suggested that Colin Gray deserves the death penalty, saying, "He just as well shot these people as far as I'm concerned, because I don't particularly think my grandson would have been the way he was, except the environment that he lived in." These family dynamics came under further scrutiny when it was revealed that law enforcement had visited the Gray household in May 2023, following a tip received by the FBI. The tip concerned someone threatening to shoot up a school, with pictures of guns posted on a video game social platform called Discord. The account's username was written in Russian letters, spelling Lanza, an apparent reference to Adam Lanza, the perpetrator of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in 2012. Body camera footage from this visit was released, showing the interaction between law enforcement officers and Colin and Colt Gray. In the video, Colin Gray acknowledged having weapons in the house that were accessible to his son, though he stated they were not loaded. He mentioned that they frequently went shooting and hunting together. When questioned, Colt denied ever making threats about a school shooting. During this visit, Colin Gray also spoke about his son being bullied and going through a tough time. However, law enforcement found insufficient evidence to corroborate the threats or verify that the online account belonged to Colt Gray. With no probable cause established, the investigation was closed. The handling of this incident has raised questions about communication between law enforcement and schools. Jackson County Sheriff Janice Mangum stated that area schools were notified about the police visit, but schools have reported having no documentation of such notification. Adding another layer to the case, Colin Gray, 54, was arrested the day after the shooting. He faces 2 charges of second-degree murder, 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. These charges stem from allegations that he recklessly allowed his son access to weapons despite warning signs. Specifically, Colin Gray is accused of gifting his son the AR-15 style rifle allegedly used in the shooting in December 2023, just months after the police visit. A relative claimed that Colin bought the gun for his son to toughen him up, allegedly calling him a sissy. This allegation, coupled with the grandfather's claims of verbal abuse, paints a troubling picture of the family dynamic. The family's history of instability extends beyond the father-son relationship. In July 2022, Colin and Colt were living with Marcy Gray, Colt's mother, and Colt's 2 younger siblings in Jefferson, Georgia. Following an eviction filing, the family separated. Colin and Colt moved to a different Jefferson subdivision, while Marcy took the 2 younger children to her parents' home in Fitzgerald, Georgia. Marcy Gray has her own history of legal troubles, including an arrest for allegedly keying Colin's car and drug possession. She pleaded guilty to several charges and was sentenced to 5 months of probation. A former neighbor, Lauren Vickers, shared her observations of the family's struggles, recounting incidents where Marcy would lock Colt and his sister out of the house, leaving them crying and banging on the door. Vickers also mentioned finding Marcy passed out in the driveway with the car running. Regarding Colt, Vickers described him as a quiet kid who wasn't a bully or a mean kid. In the wake of the shooting, Marcy Gray released a heartfelt letter to the families affected by the tragedy. She expressed deep remorse, writing, "To the parents and families of those affected by the tragic events at Appalachian High School, I want to say that I am so sorry from the bottom of my heart." She added, "If I could take the place of Mason and Christian, I would, without a second thought." Marcy also acknowledged the sacrifice of the 2 teachers who lost their lives protecting their students. In her letter, Marcy described the situation as a living nightmare and asked for prayers for her son and family while expressing her constant prayers for all those affected. She emphasized that Colt is not a monster, describing him as her oldest baby, who is quiet, thoughtful, caring, funny, and extremely intelligent. The case has prompted discussions about mental health support schools and the responsibilities of parents in preventing access to firearms. It was reported that about a week before the shooting, the school and the family were discussing Colt's mental state, as he was reportedly having homicidal and suicidal thoughts. As the community continues to grapple with this tragedy, many questions remain unanswered. The legal proceedings against both Colt and Colin Gray are ongoing, with a grand jury set to review their cases and decide on indictments. Additional charges may be forthcoming as the investigation progresses. The Appalachia High School shooting serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing issue of gun violence in schools and the complex factors that can contribute to such tragedies. It highlights the need for improved communication between schools, families, and law enforcement, as well as the importance of addressing mental health concerns and ensuring responsible gun ownership. As the case unfolds, it will likely prompt further discussions on school safety measures, gun control laws, and the support systems necessary to identify and help troubled youth before they resort to violence. The community of Winder, Georgia, like many others that have faced similar tragedies, now begins the long process of healing and searching for ways to prevent such incidents in the future.